March 19th regular meeting to order. Any visitors' comments? All right. Minutes to be approved, the 12th and 19th of February.
Make a motion to approve.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, minutes approved. Minutes to be acknowledged, none. Minutes to be acted on, none. I'm just gonna go through the reports quickly, which we got earlier this week, and if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to chime in. Financial, police, road department, wage tax, real estate, zoning, code enforcement, fire, recreation. Any updates?
Nope.
Manager's report, the quotes for screening around the dumpster pad at Wrights Field.
Yeah, I gave you 3 quotes, one with being a black chain link fence with the slats in it, one being the bigger blocks over at like Teal Ferguson's, and one being a split face block around the pad, which would require a footer and expansion. I'll be honest, I would recommend we go with the black fence. It's going to match the rest of the fencing there. It's $4,510 and $10.87 compared to, we have the proposal for the split face with a foundation of $11,250. And
We'd be putting in the fence?
no, we will have what was it?
Pen fencing.
Okay.
Pen fencing do it. I think
For $4,500.
For $4,500, we'll get the screening that we need.
Yeah.
And it's going to match the rest of the fencing.
Yeah.
And if we ever wanted to expand, we could pop it out and move it where we have started having foundations or anything like that. We have to expand the pad and do all that extra work.
Yeah.
So for the price, I think we're gonna get the bang for our buck, by screening it that way, but it does need screened. I mean, a lot of times the window knock the lids over and we can go up higher, 8 feet, the whole 9 yards. So that's what I would recommend. If you guys have any other opinion on that, feel free, but for the cost value of a dumpster enclosure, I'd rather not spend the extra money for split face blocks.
So we need to approve that?
Yeah, if you won't mind.
Make a motion to.
Second, any discussion? Nope. All right, Mark, you can order it when you're ready.
Okay.
Quote for the sign at the point.
Yeah, I provided you guys with a couple quotes here. One mainly is the sign. That's the biggest expense. So we would go with a digital sign that we'd be able to change. That way Lauren doesn't have to run around all these other little signs and put all her information on. She has to change the letters and everything. We would be down to one. It's one of the smart signs like a lot of the businesses have here. We never really did it out front here. We always just had, a sign out here to say we're here, and if we needed to change a meeting or something, we would put it on. Rather than that, it says "Good luck, Cougars." But we would like to put something now that we finally own the point that we've never owned forever until now, since I can remember. I started working in 1988, and I used to cut the grass there. We've never owned it. We've cut the grass and maintained it since then, and way before that. But we own it now. I'd like to beautify it a little bit, get a sign that says Chippewa Township, and move forward with that. We got a quote for $36,919 for the smart sign, and then the Chippewa Township over the top. This doesn't have to be the final thing. That's just a quote we got. If anybody has any more input on it. We looked at about 10 different ways of doing this, and we tried to kind of come up with something, that's not too gaudy, but just Chippewa Township on it.
And I think if you want to look at it, I think that's the exact same one that's at the Methodist Church.
Ours is bigger than theirs.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's the same,
It's the same type of sign.
Yeah, same type, yeah.
It'll just be a lot bigger with the base and the sides going up, and then we'll have the 2 top caps, and so we got a quote for that, and then a quote to do the stone. Like I said, he is going to hand carve, not carve the stone, but the concrete to match, make it look like the rock in behind it. That has the rounded edge. So, I think it would be nice to have something there, kind of like a welcome to Chippewa type thing. All we have right now is a little sign coming off 376 that says welcome to Chippewa. We've never had that in a town. I see a lot of other towns have that. It's not a necessity, but I think it would be great to get information out. And even like our meeting times and dates, and if we have a change in meetings or anything, Lauren can go down, or whoever can go down with their phone and change that sign right there.
We don't need to get banners anymore for stuff,
No.
like for events.
No.
Just, it's there. Yep,
So-
that makes sense. And you said at the last meeting, but there's already electric there, so we just.
Yeah, we could pull off the pole with the
Yeah.
meter. I talked to Tech Electric, they said no problem, we just have to shut the intersection down for 5 minutes, which we can direct traffic for that amount of time, that he can get the power out. We're already paying on the meter anyway for the
Yep.
lights, so
Yeah,
that'd be a lot easier.
Okay.
Luckily, we didn't have to pull wire overhead or underground.
Yeah, no, that'll
So-
be easy.
Okay. We need to make a motion to make those purchases
Okay.
and progress with that.
All right, second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, easy. Quote for the new street sweeper.
Yeah, I got that quote to you. I agree with going with the 4-year right now, unless Annette and we have a different idea. It would only be either the 4 or the 5-year lease to purchase. When we call them leases here, I mean, it's not like you're leasing a vehicle. It's just basically a loan. It's a dollar buyout at the end. They call it a lease, but it's basically a loan. But yeah, our other sweeper is to the point where it's not gonna move anymore.
Yeah.
And we're trying to sweep as many streets as we can in the spring, and then we also utilize it in the fall. After we get any roads that are tar and chip, we go back and sweep them, because we don't wanna go back and plow in the winter time and all that stone that comes off.
Yep.
All we're gonna do is just shove it up in everybody's yard.
Yep.
So we go back and we sweep it, we retain the stone, we have a huge pile down there, and we actually utilize it for different things, when we're working on different projects where we need some stone. Where it doesn't have to be a super clean stone, we'll reuse that stone again.
Yep.
So, they put it on hold for us. I asked them to put it on hold at least till tomorrow, to see if we were gonna purchase or not. So I would, as much as I hate buying a sweeper,
You said it's been over.
it's a 94. We bought it used in like 2000 something.
Yeah.
And the one we had before that, that was unbelievable, but it lasted us a long time. But this thing's a 94, and they're just a high maintenance vehicle. I mean, when it's out there, you can imagine it's picking up dirt,
Yeah.
and it's putting it in to a hopper, and it has like a feeder that sends it up into the hopper, and it's just your bearings and your everything just wears out in them, and it's chain driven. So you can imagine a chain just
Yep.
and you're doing it when it's raining out a little wet.
Right.
And it's just, everything sticks to it, and we've rebuilt that thing so many times, it's just
Is there?
we're to that point, and like I said, from someone, I'll just tell you right now, I've said it a million times, I hate buying a sweeper. That's why you can tell in 1994, the last one,
Yeah.
in 2000, whatever we bought 25 years ago, this thing was used in 25 years ago, but
Yeah. I mean.
I think we need to finally pull the trigger. This thing's not gonna move, and we're never gonna sweep again. And I can't, the problem is you can't rent them. So I thought, well, let's just rent one for the season.
Yeah.
It's like anybody else, everybody sweeps in the spring.
Yeah.
So good luck finding one.
Yeah.
So,
Make a motion to make that purchase and up to their discretion, 4 or 5 years, whatever you decide.
Second, any discussion? The old one, is it a scrap or is it?
I'm gonna see if another municipality, I heard that Ohioville might be interested in it.
Would we have to list that?
Not for, if we sell to another municipality, we don't have to.
Okay, all right.
If we do,
Nobody else is gonna buy that.
If we do,
Yeah.
I would have to put it on like, they call it like municipal, because ultimately, if I run an ad to sell that thing, it's gonna be about $250.
Yeah,
And
that's-
it's probably worth $1,000.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Request for exemption on real estate tax for.
yeah, I was hoping
three
that
parcels.
Shannon would be here this evening, but I will forward all this to her. I wanted to have you guys give, our solicitor permission to move forward with, taking these parcels that we own off of the tax rolls. The parcel 53-112-131 is in Big Beaver. That's why it starts with a 53, and the other one is 53-112-300. Those are part of our park, but we really didn't have a use over there at that time, and now we have the walking trails that have been established, and I want to take those off of the tax rolls because we're paying taxes. I mean, it's raw land tax, it's not a lot of money, but we're still paying tax to Big
Yeah,
Beaver
for
and
use
Beaver
of-
Falls School District. And we're utilizing for recreation now,
Yep.
so I wanna get those two off the tax rolls, and then also 5711-200 is the point, which is only like $36 or $40, but why it's ours. I mean,
Yeah,
why pay
no sense
tax
in
on
doing
it?
it, yep, no sense in doing it.
So I wanna just get permission to, have her do that, to go ahead and start whatever procedure we need. I know back prior, when our prior solicitor, Burley Hay, when I'd ask him to take something off, I would usually attend, and we would go down and we would sit in front of the, assessment office
Yeah.
with our solicitor, and we would say, this is why we want it, and then they would either send us an approval, and it would be on a tax, they would take it off the tax rate, off the taxes, so, I don't know if that's still a procedure or not. It's been quite a few years since we've had to do that, but, yeah.
Might as well sue.
I mean, we're looking at probably $400 or $500 a year. Probably actually more than that because of school taxes. It's gonna be like, probably like $1,500 a year.
Heads up.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to proceed with, trying to remove those from the tax rolls.
In a second, any discussion? All right, all in favor?
All right?
Aye, all right, good, yeah.
Last thing I wanted to say, Dan, is, I didn't have it on the agenda, but me and Dawn have been talking about this. You know, you remember months ago that the new magistrate came over and said that he requested that we proceed with our code enforcement through a criminal instead of civil
Yeah.
action. Well, Donna has been doing that, but we've noticed, or Donna has noticed, I didn't say we, Donna has noticed that there's a lot of sections in the ordinance that pertain to keep saying civil. So we reached out to Shannon and said, hey, like, what do we do with this? There's even parts in our zoning ordinance that say civil. So, I mean, I hate to go through and change our entire ordinance. I'm hoping that maybe we can say something at the beginning of our ordinances, say wherever it says civil may be under the discretion for criminal proceedings due to whatever magistrate. But, I mean, the magistrate comes in and says, this is what I want, and we gotta change 15 ordinances.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather have something over like administration fees, you know, as deemed by the township. And then that way we don't have to keep changing back and forth. If something happens, then we get another magistrate that says, no, this is civil.
Yeah.
So I think there'd be a happy medium here somewhere, but we haven't continued the conversation with Shannon about that. We were gonna do it tonight, but she said she couldn't make it. She said she would probably ask for permission to go ahead and fix whatever we need to in the ordinance for maybe next month. So just giving you a heads up.
Yeah. And there has to be other municipalities that have.
Like I said, when he came here, when I kind of like talked to, I kind of like, I don't want to say I kind of told him how I felt about it. But, I mean, I can understand why he's doing what he's doing because there's more teeth in those ordinances.
Yeah.
And I think we can get a lot more done and he can do a lot more for us as far as enforcement wise. But on the other hand, like now I got somebody who like, you know, it's in the zoning ordinance too. Like, so now I'm going to say in the zoning ordinance, if somebody doesn't have a setback, I'm going after them criminally. Like, you know,
It's probably one of those, if we could have it at the discretion, I think
Yeah.
that would be better. Because we might be in a situation where we want to do that.
yeah.
So if it could be the discretion, that would be my opinion.
And that's why I just thought it
If
would
we
be kind
could-
of a quick fix instead of going through and finding every little
Every
section
one
in
and
the ordinance that
changing
says civil. We have to
Right,
change
right.
every one of them.
Yeah, if we could do either or, I think that would probably be, because again, you don't want.
Yeah, just like one addition to it at the beginning, just a short paragraph that states, you know, it would be at the discretion
Because I don't
of.
like the criminal one either, because again, like you said, somebody has a setback that's different. It's like, so when they go to apply for a job, it's like, why'd you have
Yeah.
on your criminal record of, oh, you didn't put your.
I mean, I can understand like when you're in a code violation and you have junk vehicles, you won't get rid of them and
Yeah,
stuff like that, but like, I think there's a time and place for everything, and I think the criminal type thing, procedure, to me,
that's too.
it's just a little different, and like right now, just so you know real quick, like we have a procedure set up in our ordinance that under civil action, that anybody in the township has a right to come and have a hearing. It's kind of like a discussion hearing
Yeah.
with me. So if Donna cites them and they're to the point where they're gonna go to the magistrate, they have an opportunity to come speak with me. And a lot of times at that point, what I do is just say, you know, I just say, do you need more time?
Yeah.
Do you need this? So I can grant them that. I don't know how good I feel about, I'm okay with civil, but like criminal, I don't know if I would be able to do that.
Yeah,
And believe me, and when I tell you this, we've like avoided going to the magistrate more times than we have had to go.
Yeah.
Probably 90%, I can handle them.
Yeah,
Because it's usually, I mean, Donna is someone who's the enforcement person and I am the other person over here. I can say, hey, what's the deal?
yeah,
I just need a little more time. They know we're serious now.
yeah,
And then instead of imposing the fine, which they think that they still have to pay the fine, I say, take the money and handle the business. We don't want your money.
yeah.
I don't want the fine. I just want you to
Move your car.
comply with the ordinance. You know, so anyway, I
No,
hope
yeah,
like
if
we
we
can
could,
make
if we
all
could
that
do
work.
it, both, that would be good.
I'm just giving you a heads up that you're gonna hear that coming down the line and
Okay.
just give you a heads up. So
Uh,
that's all I have.
Yeah, and I just wanted to continue on with what Mark said, is my concerns are, again, having criminal actions on things that are not really
Yeah.
serious, so to speak. And then what happens when the magistrate changes? Like, it'd be great if he stays as long as Doug does.
Yeah,
But when that magistrate changes, and let's say we've changed everything and
Mhm.
spent that money and time to do that, then a new magistrate comes in with a completely different attitude, then we have to go
change back, right.
change back again. And that's kind of a reality. And like Mark said, the system works great now, because on average, if you read my
Yeah.
reports, I have maybe 600 or so open files. I'm in the magistrate maybe 2 or 3 times.
Mhm.
So that step of coming in to talk to him just kind of alleviates that whole thing. So I don't think we want to lose that step, because it's just more efficient to do it that way.
Oh, yeah, no,
So
it's,
there's just a lot of, for me, from being in the seat, there's just a lot of, I just have some,
And I can understand why he wants to do what he wants to do in certain
Right,
cases,
yeah.
because a lot of times, under the civil action, he can only do so much.
yeah,
And we've had just repeat offenders, and then he says, okay, you're guilty, and then nothing happens.
yeah,
And then everybody's like, then we have the residents on us and on her saying,
right,
what happened? Well, he was found guilty. Well, what's happening? Well,
yeah,
he's just,
He's got a fine,
they
it's not
gave
bad.
him all this extra time. And
yeah,
so it makes us look bad, like we're not getting anything done, but it's part of the system where criminally, it's gonna happen a lot faster and it gives him the teeth. So I understand where he's coming from,
right.
but I don't think it fits every situation.
I agree. Payment of the bills for February.
I move to pay the bills.
All right, second, so in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, we will pay the bills. Solicitor's business, Shannon's not here tonight. Supervisor's business, anything else, Jim?
No?
No. None for me as well, so we will be here Wednesday, the April 9th, 10 a.m. We are adjourned. Have we ordered another piece